So last stream, we built this little frigate here, mostly to house our mining vessel that I built in the first stream. This little sucker here, and one of these little tools here with the welders and not drills, grinders, welders and grinders. And you can fit 2 or maybe 3 in just in this little section here. And while this frigate does have some defenses, I figure since it's got such a nice hangar, I'm going to build a fighter or 2. So let's go ahead and get started on that. And to start off with, we're going to throw down basic cockpit. And let's see, where do we go from here? Well, let's build this up a bit. I wish they would switch the ports from the large one back here, stick it on the bottom, and put, 2 or 3 small ports in the back instead, but, whatever. We'll work with it. Now, let's see. Where are... Here we go. Small reactors. Okay. So let's just turn symmetry on to make it a little bit easier. Just going to do that. And stick that right there like this. Okay. We're going to want some gyroscopes. And alright. We're going to want this thing to be pretty fast, so we're just going to do that. And that. There we go. Again, just throw down some armor. A lot of it's probably going to end up just being placeholder, but, Alright, now I'm trying to figure out what kind of weapons would be best for a fighter like this. I'm thinking a couple Gatling turrets for sure. Or, Gatling turrets, Gatling guns. But I don't think I want them out like that. Let's see. No. Yeah. More aligned with the center of the ship. Oop. And I already forgot something pretty important. The forward-facing thrust. It's not going to help us very much if we get going and then can't stop. That would be a bit of an issue. Okay. No, that's not going to do any good because that landing gear is going to get burnt off. Should I? No. I'll worry about landing gear later. Okay. I'm going to stick one more reactor back here. Just so that we can reach our fuel supply if we need to. Like I said before, conveyors don't work unless they're powered. If you run out of power with your conveyor, your reactors don't get fueled, and that can be a bit of an issue. Let's go pop ourselves up a little bit here. Are. Just gonna make that look a little bit better. Yeah, there we go. Just gonna build up nose cone here. Thought about putting an antenna in there. Wouldn't work out. So we'll just do that. And already, have a very maneuverable, very fast fighter. Oh, and I think I already broke it. Let's see. Yep. Broke a couple engines off. That's fine in my book. Kind of testing the limitations of this thing. And as you can see, it's not especially tough. This thing is mostly meant to go out in waves. It's basically almost built to be blown apart. Alright, so here we are. Good as new. Let's continue doing some maneuvers. Seems like we peak out at about 94% power consumption, even during some of the more extreme maneuvers. So, not bad. But I do want a little bit more firepower with this thing. So, let's see. Just some basic rocket launchers. Just like that. Actually, I don't know about that positioning, so... yeah, there we go. That's a bit better. Let's double check that those are secured in place. And there we go. We got a little extra firepower now. It may not be the prettiest little thing, but it's effective, it gets the job done. As you can see, the Gatling guns are positioned pretty close to the crosshairs. The rocket launchers a little bit further apart. This ship is designed almost perfectly as a quick little interceptor. Alright, so that done, let's see about getting ourselves a landing gear. There we go. Perfect. Or as damn near close to perfect as we can get. Let's see, taking time away from testing, that took only about 10 minutes to fully design, build this thing. Hardly any time at all. And of course, if you want, you can add more guns, which, actually, I kind of do. Just like that. Just going to adjust the armor right there. Now the Azimuth Gatling guns chew through ammo like you wouldn't believe. But because of that, they also have some of the best damage output for any other Gatling gun or weapons, so really, absolutely worth it. And I've said this before, I'm using some mods mostly for quality of life, but because of the lack of weapon selection in the Space Engineers base game, you almost have to use certain mods if you want an effective ship. Most weapons, especially the Gatling guns, they can only operate within 800 meters. That's a little under a kilometer. And if you have several ships coming at you at once, say if you were on a PvP server or something like that, then you want something that can engage at a longer distance. Inbound. And some of these modded blocks, if they're part of the game server, would really, really help you out. Okay, so we got our first small ship. Let's go ahead, whoa, careful now, and park this in the hangar. Oop. Here we go. So depending on how you park these, you can have 2, maybe 3 of them side by side in this one hangar. In this little half of the hangar, I should say. So that's not bad. A couple of these, along with the ship itself, throwing out some ammo in the enemy's general direction would be a good deterrent. And the fighters, being disposable as they are, is probably one of the best solutions for taking care of enemy ships that are getting a little bit too close. You can send them out ahead to harass or possibly target certain systems to try and disable them so that the main ship can get away. Fighters taking on larger ships in this game is really not a thing. They're more for harassment, interception, taking out key systems that are exposed. So with that fighter out of the way, let's build ourselves a slightly heavier fighter. This one may or may not fit inside the hangar bay. And actually, I'm going to use the standard cockpit. I'm using this because the hitbox is more consistent and I'll be able to build a slightly more armored ship. Visibility, not going to be that great. But we're not exactly going for visibility so much as we are heavy defenses. This is a bit of a callback to one of my earlier designs. One of the first fighters I've ever built. Okay. What am I doing? Okay. And I'll throw in a third gyroscope just because. Okay. Let's not get too bogged down. I'm talking to myself right now. Too bogged down in construction of this thing. Okay. Bit of extra power. Okay, there we go. All right. see, conveyor frame. And uh-oh, which way is forward for this thing? That way. No, not that way. Right. Yes. Okay. All right. Our heavy fighter is well on its way to being done. That is a slight issue, but one that I could correct pretty easily. Just a moment. Okay. So, let's go ahead and start armoring this thing up.
Storm inbound.
Oh, of course, I'll have to deal with another one of those. And if you're wondering how I'm getting this glass onto the small ship, it is the small ship Mega Mod Pack. It's a very useful mod. I recommend it very much. I can't recommend it enough, actually. It's very, very good to have. That... Let's actually get a good look at this. Okay. That's a bit better. Trying to get this to fit right. It's a bit of a pain, but I think I can get this to work. Okay. There we go. And one little hole at the top so I can get in and out. Okay. There we are. Rocket pod up front works just fine. I can pop in and out of my cockpit as I need to. Good deal. I think... Yeah, I definitely want another heavier duty Gatling gun right here. Good. Come on. There we go. So we've got a little bit more protection. That way any incoming shots don't immediately destroy us. We've got a decent bit of viewing space. We can see what's going on around us for the most part. Still very fast and very maneuverable, which is very important for a fighter. Now we just gotta work out where we're gonna stick the landing gears. Which, honestly, I'm thinking just like that. Let's see about landing this and seeing how that works. Good. Kind of clipping through the floor, so I don't like that. I was planning on making this a bit of a bomber kind of style, but I'm thinking instead put the rockets down here. Then put the rocket launcher up here. All right. All right, yeah. Just as good. All right. Let's go ahead and finish this one off. And maybe call it.
Meteor storm inbound.
I don't know what to name this thing, but you know what? Doesn't really matter. Oh, before I forget. One reactor, fully exposed. That way, we have a way to fuel this thing if the batteries run out and the conveyors don't work. Okay. Now we get to see if this thing will fit inside the hangar bay. Which I don't see why it wouldn't, but we gotta double check and make sure anyways. Oh yeah. Plenty of clearance. There we go, kind of a weird cockeyed kind of park job here, but we're more or less centered now. There we go. Built ourselves a lightweight, cheap, and easy to produce interceptor, and a slightly heavier, more armored bomber. And both of these ships are probably going to get torn up. Let's not make any mistakes about that. But still, a couple of these, or a few of these, sent out to intercept and harass other larger ships while this one here tries to make getaway. That's very important in a fleet. And having a varied amount of fighters, each one with its own purpose or specific role, will also help you immensely. Alright, well, that's about it for this stream. Thank you, folks. I'll see you next time.